Welcome, episode 2 for Who for What. I'm your host, Adam Smith, and thank you. I mean it. Thank you. We didn't know exactly how it was going to go down. My return last week, that was spontaneous, completely out of nowhere, and we knew it was a huge risk, and the response has been overwhelmingly beautiful and positive. And both me and my family thank every single person who watched and love, listened to the podcast, contributed to the charity stream that we did. I'll go into detail about all of it, but genuinely thank you. And it means a lot that dozens and dozens of people reached out privately and expressed their gratitude and thanks towards me explaining my mental health journey, and it is very very overwhelming, and I am extraordinarily happy that I am able to give back to them in a certain way, especially on an individual basis. Collectively, yeah, sure, but the people who DM'd and expressed their stories and I've been able to talk to, it's been great. It's been great. And that goes for anybody from here on out. My DMs are very open. If I see it, I will respond. You need, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, but I am a human who has gone through a lot of shit. And I'm not necessarily going to give advice on serious issues, but I will listen. I will listen, and I will be there if you have anything that you need someone to talk to. And I'll tell you what, a lot of the time, that's all it takes. That's all it takes to feel better, is just having somebody to listen. So I'm offering myself and my platform out there to anybody on an individual basis who needs or wants any sort of help. Just in the intro, answer some general questions. I got my comfort bat here. Whoopsies. An Evening of Love was written with the intention to come back to Barstool as part of the reentry and kind of rebranding of who I am. It was originally twice as long, littered with a bunch of inside Barstool jokes and shots, and I wasn't gonna waste it. We still thought it was a good idea to do because we needed something to both humanize and humorize what I've been through. And we thought that was the best way to do so. And we rented out a theater. It was a closed production. It wasn't a stand-up per se. It was more intended to be like a one-man show. So something in between like a stand-up one-man show and TED Talk. So for everybody shitting on me for not being Shane Gillis up there, sure. I'm not, which is fine. And I really genuinely appreciate anybody who watched it. And then the podcast, it just laid everything out there for multiple reasons. Number one, I felt like it was an important story to tell. And number two, I just don't want to fucking talk about it and keep reliving it. So if you have any questions about what happened with me and at Barstool or my life story, just go listen to episode 1. It's an hour and a half. It's I don't know if it's a fun time. It's a time, for sure. It's a time. Just go there if you need any reference to anything. And final act before basically just giving up Barstool forever, because I wasn't given the opportunity to leave, was doing a live stream for charity, mind you, giving away, or excuse me, auctioning away all of my Barstool merch, in which we'll discuss what happened in the stream, because it did not go as smoothly as I intended. From a charitable perspective, the eBay link for the auction is out there now. I think it's up to $400, which is awesome. I mean, it's my used clothes. $400 to benefit Bringing Hope Home, which is a charity that helps families going through cancer diagnoses and providing them with financial assistance. Sure, why not? If we can get that over $1,000, amazing. But $400, $500 for my used clothes to go towards families with cancer directly. Gold. Absolutely gold. So thank you. Thank you very much. Couple ads before we get cooking. Veripasta, baby, the best pasta this side of the old country. Go there, veripasta.com. Use code SMITTY, 10% off. People ask me, how can I help this podcast? What can I do to help you, Smitty? Go buy some fucking pasta. Like, that's how you help. Obviously, I get a cut of what is sold, and it's delicious pasta, and it helps them out. It's a win-win-win. Go to veripasta.com. Type in code SMITTY for 10% off, and you very soon will experience the delightfulness of the old country right down your gullet. Next up, we got Country Deli. Country Deli is an amazing, amazing breakfast and lunch spot located in Gradyville, Pennsylvania, the heart of Delco. You want to talk about great food and better people? Country Deli, we're there all the time. I'm a little apprehensive putting it out there because I don't want our little secret to get it out. But hey, if Cole Hamels goes there before he pitches games, everyone should know about it because it's that good. So 3 Scrambies, home fries, white toast, turkey bacon. Bam! Call it a day. Country Deli. And then we got stoolspin.com, the most accurate satirical website in the history of history. Huge liability there, but what are you going to do? Let's go. All right, we're going to start off today with a little mental health minute. In the first podcast, I obviously was very open and transparent about what I went through, and that doesn't stop. Mental illness isn't linear. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you're good, sometimes you're a little bit of a rough spot. So as I continue into this reentry process, I knew it wasn't going to be all peaches and cream. I was very well aware of that. And there was a moment already where I kind of lost it a little bit. During the charity stream that we had last week, where I was auctioning off all my Barstool memorabilia / used clothes / jizz rags to the people, which the link is still live, by the way. Appreciate anybody who wants to donate. It goes straight to Bringing Hope Home charity. During this charity stream, mind you, the reception was as all of everything that I put out, the reception and feedback has been very, very overwhelming and positive, but I know there's going to be trolls. I'm very well aware that I was going to be attacked just for existing, more or less, and during a charity stream. And with streaming live with commenters, that was my bread and butter. It really was. I have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours of live streaming on Twitch. I've hosted national radio shows on Sirius where you're obviously interacting with live callers. That was my jam. And maybe I was a little overzealous thinking that I could just very cohesively re-enter in that way, to the point where I thought going back into this, a big part of my reentry was going to be live streaming. And the trolls came out. They came out, which again is just part of what it is. That's the internet. I'm not trying to control or even denounce the trolls. Because quite honestly, if we ever have a beer together with some of these anonymous people, we'd probably be friends. We would. It's the internet. It's anonymous. It's bullshit. And the entire stream was okay. And then towards the end, one very specific comment dysregulated me. And in real time, people got to see what my mental illness is like. And when I saw that comment, it instantly took me back to a not good place, specifically back to October 2024, physically, emotionally. And I'll explain it in kind of Neanderthalic terms, like what it looks like for me. Smitty mad. Smitty mad. Smitty angry. Smitty upset. Smitty discombobulated. Smitty smash. Smitty confused. Smitty sad. And it's all those emotions all at once. And it's okay. It's part of what I am now. It just is. And I'm talking about it because plenty of other people experience the same thing, and it's okay. It is okay. And I took the video down not because I wanted to. I want people to see that, and if they notice themselves becoming like that and need to take a breath or uh, get help, or if they see a family member or a close friend acting that way and can intervene before stuff really deteriorates. I would want them to see that. But I took it down because that's not how the internet works. It just isn't. That video would be used against me and my family in a very hateful way. And I'm not giving that opportunity to people. And I'll try to resonate with the trolls in a mass whole way. People have to realize that the love that I have for my wife and kids is the same exact love that Sean McGuire from Good Will Hunting, Robin Williams' character, has for his deceased wife. So I see something that in my mind correlates to disrespecting my wife or family. It is instant, and it is, got that, Chief? I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just a part of me, and that's what sends me into those spaces sometimes. And my wife noticed. My wife was obviously watching live. She noticed me becoming dysregulated. She came down, calmed me down. We exited the stream, and within 20 minutes, I was okay. I was back to normal. And these episodes happen. They are quite infrequent. In fact, the last one that I had was in December when I got notifications that in the Barstool Sports New York office, my old office, somebody gave a Christmas-themed 9/11 holiday gag gift featuring a mockery of my mental illness. Yeah, that happened. That happened at my former office. And it sent me into a bit of a spiral, and that was unconscionably abhorrent on many levels. Number one, to make a theme of a tragedy in New York, where a number of your coworkers and acquaintances are directly affected by that day, and on top of that, your boss does work for Tunnels to Towers, one of the most prominent charities involving the tragedy. It's bold. It's a bold move. But look, I'm a believer that the First Amendment still exists in this country, whether you believe that or not. And anything can be made to be funny. So if people thought that was funny, so be it. But it sent me down a dark path because it wasn't the Barstool Reddit page. It wasn't commenters. It was people that I knew, people that I had no beef with, no issues. I was very pleasant with, and to see that happen out of nowhere, and not only that, the reaction in the office to that, where people like somebody who I got a job at Barstool directly and professionally, had done stuff years and considered them a friend, and personally, my wife and I have gone out of our ways to help out them and their family. It was devastating. It was devastating to see them not only laugh, but propagate what was shown. But it is what it is. It happened. I decided well before that I was not going to become a Batman villain and go after Barstool, which I teetered with for a time. I mean, maybe the lower level employees don't understand that I've been there since 2011 and I have saved everything. So maybe you shouldn't take shots. And of course, my wife and I were assured by Barstool HR that something like that would never happen in house. But it did. And it happened, it's over, and we move on with our lives. And you know how we do that? We cue it. What a jam. What an absolute jam. The Sixers' official victory song, I suppose. I mean, you can't listen to that in any scenario and not feel just joy and happiness, with or without basketball. I mean, that song just pimps. It just pimps. Well, I guess the only scenario would be when the confetti drops and it's a tie ball game and you still lose the Celtics. Probably shouldn't play it then. But other than that, pretty good song. Pretty good song to uplift the spirits of anyone around. And I'll tell you what, I still give Tall Maurice Peoples, all the credit in the world for bringing that song back. It was written during the 70s, I believe, and then disappeared. And right in time for the process, we bring it back. And it's a good one. It's a good one. So much so that me and my Delco wife, we had it as our intro song to our wedding. Because it's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Much like the Philadelphia 76ers throughout most of my life. It has been a good vibe. Do they win? No. No, I was born in 1984. The last championship was 1983. Of course they haven't won. But ever since a kid, in the early 90s, the Sixers were like the most communal team out of the four, it felt like. They would do competitions with local elementary schools around the Philadelphia area to benefit Easter Seals, which is a great charity that helps kids with disabilities and mental development issues. And what it was is you try to go out and get signatures for Easter Seals. And the competition would be a thing called the mic and drill, which is basically just a layup line. And for 60 seconds, try to see how many layups you get. And if you win, either your school or the area or wherever, you have to go down the spectrum and meet your favorite Philadelphia 76ers at the time. Who are the stars in the early 90s? Oh, we're talking post Barkley, so we're thinking Hersey Hawkins, Clarence Weatherspoon, Derek Coleman, baby. Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. You think Tony Wharton days were tough? Whew. Try watching old 44 sweat up and down the court for 48 minutes. What? That's an unnecessary shot at DC. But it was community. It was a feeling that that you had with the Sixers that you just that was just rare. And we had partial season tickets growing up down to the Spectrum. And when Pat Croce took over in Iverson's first year, 1996, 1997, the positivity was palpable. Right? Pat Croce, that guy must be dipping his balls in happy juice 24/7, because there is not another man on earth who just exudes happiness and positivity and good vibes like Pat Croce. And having him as an owner in the city during the Iverson years was I think something that we all took for granted, really, because this guy would rappel down from the rafters at the Wells Fargo Center, or the fuck it was called then, Wachovia, changes every 2 years, and would go into the stands and just like shoot the shit with the people. He was one of us. He was one of us. He was one of a kind. And eventually, in 2011, a group led by Joshua Harris, the current owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, purchases the team. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Hashtag sell the team is going viral across these interwebs. And it's getting to the point where they're it's getting to the point where there are billboards all over the place, up and down 95, for Josh Harris to sell the team. And objectively speaking, on the court, I believe, and I don't think I'm going out on a limb saying this, Josh Harris is easily the most hated owner in Philadelphia since Norman Brayman, which was the owner before Jeffrey Lurie for the Eagles. And Norman Brayman was hated for a variety of reasons, mostly money related. He let Reggie White just walk to the Packers. That was a whole to-do. But objectively speaking, Joshua Harris is the worst owner in Philadelphia right now for a variety of reasons. Number one, He doesn't care about Philadelphia or the fans. It's it's deathly obvious to anybody who looks. He owns the Washington Commanders, spends most of his time down there. He owns the New Jersey Devils. He owns Crystal Palace across the pond. He is a part of Joe Gibbs's racing team. He just doesn't care about Philly or the fans, and that's you don't have to. You don't have to. Look, NBA is a business. It's worth billions upon billions of dollars. When he bought the team in 2011 with his group, Josh Harris comes from private equity. That's what he does. He sees opportunities, he goes in, and he tries to make money. And that's what he has done since 2011 for the past 15 years. And you can't argue that's just the nature of what it is. We have Michael Rubin here for a little bit, who is the same way, like exactly, but at least he has some Philly ties and roots and assimilated a little bit better in with the community. Josh Harris just doesn't give a shit. Like, he just doesn't, and it shows. And it shows. There's so many examples over the years. At the beginning of the process, Adam Silver came over the top, exercised executive ownership power wherever the fuck he did, and removed Sam Hinkie from his general managerial position, the Philadelphia 76ers, and installs Nepo baby with the collars, Brian Colangelo, find a new slant, and by all accounts, ownership, which included Josh Harris, didn't really do anything. They didn't really fight it. And not that they had to, they were getting orders, but I don't know. Maybe go to war for your people. Maybe go to war for your people. And then there was stuff like they tried to move the stadium into Center City, which at my former job, I was initially like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, you get off the Center City line and bam, you're in a Sixer stadium like Madison Square Garden. Amazing. But then you come to realize, wow, this is like a real life issue, and people are being displaced from communities unfairly that they've been there for forever. And thankfully, that didn't end up happening, but it was tried. It was tried hard. And then there's the fact he just obviously prefers to be in charge of the Washington Commanders over the Philadelphia 76ers. Hey, it's each their own, but where does that leave us? Where does that leave the little guys? Like, we haven't seen championships since '83. Kind of want to see something, a little more effort here or there, or a little more in the community, or just be nice. I don't know, something. Throw a little scraps to the people, and we get none, and that's okay, because the NBA is a business. And that's what it is. And Josh Harris is a profitable owner in the NBA. Now, when it comes to sell the team, for all those reasons, I perfectly agree that he should sell the team. Now, when it comes to the NBA itself, one of the things I have admired about this league more than others is the accountability, specifically for morality reasons, that the NBA offers or instills. And there's precedent for it that players, no matter where you are on the bench, all the way up to owners, are held accountable for their actions. We see it now with Kyrie Irving. He's being suspended for a second time, whether you agree with his positions or not. That's the NBA coming over the top and exercising morality. You've seen it in the past with domestic violence issues. You see it now with gambling issues. And it doesn't stop with the players or coaches. It goes all the way up to ownership, which is awesome. Hold everybody accountable. Donald Sterling, 10 years ago, owner of the LA Clippers, gets caught for being a racist piece of shit. An investigation is launched, and he is forced to sell the team. Robert Sarver, the Phoenix Suns owner, was fined and suspended from both his NBA team and his WNBA team for dropping a bunch of N-bombs. And an investigation was launched. It was concluded that was the acceptable punishment for what they found, and the morality police win again in the NBA. I admire that. I admire that there is accountability towards people's actions in the league, no matter where they fall on the totem pole. Owners included. Governors included. So Josh Harris, owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, supposedly a part of our community. He started at Apollo, or got his money from Apollo private equity firm, in their early 90s with partners such as Leon Black, and accumulated all this money, wealth, and connections. And he has found himself in the Epstein files, specifically in the latest batch. And on January 30th, to get ahead of everything, Josh Harris released a statement through a spokesperson. Josh Harris never had an independent relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Harris sought to prevent Epstein's attempts to develop a corporate relationship with Apollo. As these emails indicate, Harris sought to avoid meeting with Epstein, canceling meetings, and having others return his calls. The files drop. It is reported on. Josh Harris is in there, like not just once, not just twice, quite a bit. He's mentioned, and he's going to breakfast, and this and that, and it's reported on, and that's that. Okay, I guess no harm, no foul, no smoke, no fire. But I read that statement, and the statement, Josh Harris never had an independent relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, is the most billionaire legalese one can even think of imagining. Imagine using that phrase in any sort of general sentence. Like you can use it for the Sixers. So the Sixers and tanking, yeah, they were together, but like they never really had an independent relationship with each other. They just like found themselves losing and meeting once a year during the draft lottery. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Shit happens. No, sweetie, she's just a coworker. We've just done business together. I've never had an independent relationship with her. Like, I don't care if the phone calls and emails go 3 years and we're having breakfast together and money's getting exchanged in weird ways. No. Stick to the facts. It's an independent relationship, sweetie. All right? Go make me a sandwich. No, that doesn't fly. None of that flies, like in real life. But in billionaire legalese, that's perfectly acceptable. That is perfectly acceptable. And that phrase really piqued my interest. So I decided, along with various other accounts on Twitter, to go and read the actual Epstein files themselves, which are public to everybody to go read on the Department of Justice website. It is official government documentation. This isn't conjecture. This isn't conspiratorial. This is real that you can go and look up yourself. Now, is it confusing and convoluted? Yeah. Yeah, it is. You have to type in like 20 different searches. They're constantly taking down files, putting them back up. It is an extremely confusing process. So I was able to go through and, along with others on Twitter, accumulates Josh Harris's linear timeline in the Epstein files. And for nothing more than personal curiosity of seeing how billionaires talk in an independent relationship with each other. Like, what is that? How do billionaires shoot the shit with each other? Like, what are they actually talking about behind the scenes? Especially when one of my franchise's owners in a city that I love is incorporating himself with somebody like Jeffrey Epstein, who, by the way, public knowledge, not an accusation, at the time was already convicted of a felony for child prostitution. That was 2008. And I'm not accusing Josh Harris of anything. What is in the files, there is nothing nefarious about him. There is nothing accusing him of anything sexual. There's nothing even accusing him of anything illegal. There's nothing in there like that. But he's in there multiple times, and he's associating himself with other people who are in there who are accused of pretty evil shit. So let's just read it for ourselves and we can see with our own eyes just what an independent relationship amongst two billionaires looks like. That's it. In 2013, from September 30th to October 22nd, email showed a meeting was scheduled for October 22nd, 2013, at Epstein's New York townhouse with Leon Black, Mark Rowan, and Josh Harris. Leon Black was Josh Harris's partner at Apollo. Fact. That's just a fact. I will not be saying what Leon Black is accused of because it is not. The adjectives really aren't there for me to express. but you can look it up in the public Epstein files. October 24th to November 4th, Harris's spokesperson stated he sought to avoid meetings with Epstein. In an email from Harris to Epstein on November 4th, 2013, he apologized for rescheduling a few times. Good for you, Josh Harris. Good for you. That holds up with the statement that you just said. You avoided contact with Jeffrey Epstein. That is factual. That is factual according to these documents. And tip of the cap to you for doing that. Well done. On December 4th of 2013, a meeting is mentioned and assistants verified plans. On December 9th, the records show a phone call between Josh Harris and Epstein on that date. Move forward to 2014. From January 7th to January 17th, emails from this period show Epstein's assistant requesting organizational documents from Harris, with Harris responding that he was swamped. Okay, a little ducking and dodging. Oh, I'm swamped. I can't talk to you, Jeff. That's good. That's good. That's good, Josh. I appreciate that. That is not an independent relationship. On June 10th of 2014, an email from Epstein discusses a proposed $2.4 million payment from Harris to Leon Black's former assistant, Melanie Spinella, in which the context is unclear. On August 17th, Epstein mentioned Harris in an email to Bill Gates as part of a tentative breakfast party. From November 26th to December 5th of 2014, there was an invitation for an intimate December 5th breakfast with Bill Gates that was sent to Harris. Harris's reply, "What's this Bill Gates thing about?" Epstein's response, "I thought you might like to schmooze." Those are direct quotes of an obvious non-independent relationship. Harris's assistant confirms the attendance, and Harris did attend the breakfast with Bill Gates, Ron Barron, Liam Black, and others. A week later, Epstein asked Harris, "Did you have fun at the breakfast?" To which Harris responded, "Yes, very much. Thank you for inviting me." The billionaire is shooting the shit in a non-independent relationship. You gotta love seeing it. 15, January 13th, an email was sent to the Bank of America presidents at the time where Epstein bragged about the breakfast, mentioning Ron Barron, Josh Harris, and Bill Gates. And in 2016, there were tax follow-ups showing Epstein offering tax advice and Harris responding, as well as on September 17, 2016, a lawyer from the Mintz firm emailed Epstein per Josh's request regarding a tax issue. However, I'm a little confused, both from a Philly media standpoint and an NBA standpoint. Is Josh Harris accused of anything in these emails of something nefarious or being a sexual deviant or anything illegal? I'm not a lawyer, but I would say no. I would say his statements would hold up. Independent relationship or not, I wouldn't think that Josh Harris is amongst the company he keeps in this email. However, it confuses me that the NBA morality police that internally takes down anybody and everything in the name of accountability, and the Philly media aren't openly discussing this. It seems like something that questions should be asked. I'm not saying 97.5 and WIP need to talk about it 24/7. I mean, we do need to decide if Jalen Hurts is a franchise quarterback. There are more pressing matters. But there's nothing out there in the Philly media. I'm not saying there's smoke here, but there were significant monetary transactions that Jeffrey Epstein was overseeing, whatever that means. Shouldn't questions be asked? That's all. Let Josh Harris answer them. Let him answer them. Just ask the questions. Find the truth. And if it's nothing, it's nothing. Then everyone wins as much as you can win in this really messed up situation. But the fact that it's not even a part of Philadelphia's or the NBA's discussion, that really confuses me. It really confuses me. And I am a self-admitted Looney Tune. I can't afford to be confused right now. I just can't. There's too much going on up here. But regardless, even without the Epstein files, just sell the team, Josh. Just sell the team. Nobody likes you here anyway. You don't like us. We don't like you. You made some profit. Sell the team. Give it back to Pat Croce. Just give it back to Croce. And we can go on with our lives in peace. And thank you, Josh Harris, for on the surface just being a non-independent business associate of Jeffrey Epstein. Kudos to you.
Rise up, weary warriors, the battle's in the air. Not with violence, but with power in the words we declare. We fight from victory. The darkness has to flee. I step into the light, and the light steps into me. I saw warfare in the spirit, shadows moving in the night. But heaven sent a message. It's our time to rise and fight. Not with anger, not with weapons, but with truth that cuts like flame. Every prayer becomes a sword when we decree in Jesus' name. Intercessors, take your places. Lift your voices to the sky. Send up blessings, send up fire. Let the sound shake every lie. Guard your families, guard your peace. Stand in power, stand in grace. When the darkness tries to press in, we confront it face to face. Rise up, brave warriors. The battle's in the air. Not with violence, not with power in the words we declare. We fight some victory. The darkness has to flee. I step into the light, and the light steps into me. I decree and I declare, we are covered, we are held. Every scheme against our households will be shattered, will be stopped. The light is always stronger. Darkness bows and must retreat. When it stands before our power, it has no strength to speak. There's no going back to shadows. I'm advancing in the fight. Angels move in unseen places, pushing back the endless night. We will win against the forces that have tried to take our peace. Every warrior standing with me knows the victory's guaranteed. I decree protection over every home. I decree the darkness has to lose its hold. I decree angels fight on every sound. I decree the victory given for us into the light, and the light steps into me. The darkness froze in fear when the warriors rise, declaring peace and protection. The darkness falls and has to